Hey everyone, it's Kayla, and today I wanted to come on and share with you my professional learning network artifact for iTech 7460. And for the purposes of this project, I will be using the hashtag MentorPLN. So back when we first started this project and building our professional learning network, I felt it was important to develop a hashtag that I could use throughout the semester so that other followers could follow what I was sharing and that I would easily be able to interact with other educators both within my district, in the state of Georgia, and then globally, and could use this solid hashtag to communicate with one another. So to start with, here is just kind of a sample of some of my tweets that I have tweeted throughout the semester. So I first started off with just tweeting basic things that were happening inside my 5th grade classroom. So my handle on Twitter is 5th grade Georgia Peach, and I was very nervous to use Twitter. I've never used it personally, I haven't used it professionally, and I was very apprehensive because I wasn't really sure how it would work. I honestly was pretty skeptical because I didn't really know how effective it would be or if I would gain anything from, using Twitter, but I decided to dive on in, and so I started by just tweeting out basic things that were happening inside my classroom. And once I kind of got my feet wet doing that, I began searching for different topics that I use inside my classroom. So, for example, social emotional lessons are a huge initiative with my school this year. So I started looking for things about SEL lessons because I found that there were a lot of really great resources on Twitter, and I was able to get some new ideas that I was able to implement in my classroom. I then started looking for specifically technology related pages and found the ISTE Global PLN and found a lot of really great resources on there. And then the cool thing is I started connecting and getting to see what other teachers were doing in their classrooms and other influential educators. And I was even able to find some webinars that I found super relatable. So this really kind of, sparked my interest, like, okay, I think, this could be something beneficial for not only myself, but for my students. So then I started interacting a little bit more, and these 3 tweets really stood out to me because I tweeted them out, I retweeted them, and then the original creators of the tweet reached back out to me, which I was so excited about. So this first one was a really cool resource using QR codes, and I tagged my teammate at jgorski29 in it, and I was really excited to find that the creator of it tweeted me back and showed her appreciation, and this just made me really excited to know that I was so easily able to connect with other educators out there. I then was able to connect with other educators within the KSU program. So Heather is part of KSU's cohort 44, and so it was really neat getting to see what she is doing in her PLN and connecting with her that way. And then Versatiles was one of my all-time favorite resources that I use on a monthly basis in my classroom, and I found that the Twitter handle Hand to Mind has some really great things out there. I found that their posts were very relatable and very relevant to what I'm doing in my classroom, and so I was super excited to see when they tweeted me back and shared with me that they appreciated me sharing what they had to say. So these really stood out to me and kind of proved to me that, okay, Twitter really works. It is as great as everybody says it is, and I should definitely give it a shot and use it continually to promote the things that are happening in the classroom and to also grow professionally in learning what other educators within our state, within our nation, within our district, within our schools, everywhere, what all they're doing. Twitter is a great platform where all educators can come together and share what's going on. So as part of this project in this course, a teacher and I, who is also in the KSU program, decided to create a Twitter chat. So we wanted to create a live chat with other educators and discuss what professional learning looked like to them. So we made this cute little graphic and set our date for April the 13th. Our time was 7:30, and then decided to definitely use the hashtag MentorPLN so that other educators could find us. So I promoted this Twitter chat several ways. Obviously, I talked it up at our faculty meeting and, invited teachers to please come and join Ms. Mundock and I for this Twitter chat. And then I also sent up a follow-up email after that faculty meeting, just reminding everybody, hey, we're doing this chat. We would love for you to come and join us. I also sent out a group chat to my grade level, letting them know about the Twitter Live and reminding them of it. And they were super pumped and looking forward to coming. So that was really great to get the support of my teammates. And then I also reached out to my KSU cohort, asking them to come and join the Twitter chat. And I was happy to see that I got a lot of positive responses here and that I even had a few show up. So that was really exciting. Not only did I promote it this way, but I also promoted it on my personal Twitter page. So I thought the easiest thing to show you would just be to go straight to my Twitter page. So the first thing that Ms. Mundock and I did was we promoted it a few days before. So we set it for Tuesday, April 13th, and we decided to both tweet it out on our personal Twitter pages on April the 11th, just sharing it out with all of our followers like, hey, we're doing this chat. We would love for you to come. So then the night of our Twitter chat, we started out with what we wanted the format to be. So we decided that it would be best to give everybody a format that they could clearly use, so that way if they were not logging in right at our time of 7:30, they could still participate and would know what to do. So we decided that we would ask a total of 4 questions, and that the outline would be, we would pose it as Q1, pose the question, and then when people were answering, we asked them to use A1 so that Ms. Mundock and I could keep track of who was answering what questions, and make sure to remind people to use the hashtag MentorPLN, because we found that if they weren't using that, we could not see their responses. So Ms. Mundock and I just went back and forth promoting it. And then Ms. Mundock started off with the first question. So she started off by asking, what does powerful PLN look like to you? And does anybody have any ideas? No wrong answers. We wanted to make this a super friendly environment, letting them see, hey, this is an open forum. Please just share with us. And you see here that we had 7 responses to this question. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me click on that one more time for you. So if we click right here, you will see that we had 7 responses. So I made sure to respond and say that I needed professional learning that was relevant and current to what I was teaching. Heather Nelson agreed and said authenticity was crucial to her. Ms. Skorsky, my teammate, joined in on the conversation, talking about that she also needs it to be relevant, and that you can see that the common theme here was teachers wanted professional learning that had to directly impact what they are currently going through. So I think it was really eye-opening to see that I am not the only one who needs authentic, relevant professional learning, and that all teachers out there are really striving to receive this type of professional learning. So Ms. Mundock and I gave everyone a chance to answer their questions and go through there. We found that as we were going through this, the responses were coming in super fast, and that it was really hard to keep track of who was answering, who needed a response. And so it was a little overwhelming there in the beginning, and we somewhat had a hard time managing it, but it got a little easier as we went. But I was super glad that I had a partner, because if I was doing this independently, it would have been really difficult to keep track of everybody. So then we decided to pose question 2. So let me scroll up here. And the second question that we asked was, what was a topic of the last PL that you were a part of? And we had 5 people respond. And Ms. Mundock was very vulnerable and was like, I can't even remember what the actual professional learning that I attended was. And this kind of opened up to some other people talking about how a lot of the professional learning that we are a part of was technology, which is a sign of what education is kind of moving to with all this digital and virtual learning. Ms. Gorski was super vulnerable, letting us know that the last one she was a part of was math, and she doesn't even teach math. So again, going back to we need professional learning to be relevant and we need it to be current in what we're teaching. Leora is part of my current cohort in cohort 45, and she talked about closing achievement gaps, but she wasn't really sure how she felt about that, meaning it wasn't really effective for her. So nobody on here really talked about how their professional learning was benefiting them in their current situation, which was pretty eye-opening to me, because I know that I've had those personal thoughts but didn't realize that other people were feeling the same way that I was. So we continued, responding to people, making sure that everybody was current and getting answers and response, and we could communicate with each person. And then I posed the question of Q3. So let me scroll up here, and it says, my question was, if you could choose a technology topic for your next professional learning session, what would you want to learn about? And this was kind of a touchy subject, because we found that a lot of people didn't really want any more professional learning. And we found that, I think somebody actually used that they felt like they were drinking from a fire hydrant, because there is so much professional learning with technology going on right now that people don't really know which way is up, because there is so much being flooded at us and we really don't know what's effective. We don't know what's research-based, and it's just kind of all really overwhelming. So the final question that I chose to ask, which was Q4, was towards the end of our session, and it was, let me find it, was your number one favorite tech tool. So I wanted to end with a question that I knew a lot of people would be able to interact with, could relate to, and this would also be really beneficial professionally, because I may learn a new tech tool. So some people said Adobe Spark, and then some people said Flipgrid, which I love Flipgrid. I use Flipgrid regularly. My kids love it. I love it. It's fantastic. And so as I was responding to different people, I made sure to tag Flipgrid in it. And I have to say that I was so excited when Flipgrid tweeted me back. I had a total fangirl moment. I was so excited to see that they saw my tweet. They responded within minutes of me tagging them, and I just fell in love with Flipgrid even more. And so this was definitely the highlight of our Twitter chat, is that we had a national technology tool tweet us back. So that was really, really cool. And I have to say that overall, the success of my professional learning network has been really great. I was very apprehensive, like I said in the beginning. I really didn't know how it would really work, or if it would be effective, or if I would really learn anything. And I am so happy to report that I have fallen in love with Twitter. I love it. I find myself, as I'm going to check my other social medias, checking on Twitter to see what other educators around me are doing. Because at the end of the day, I'm learning from other professionals who are doing really great things in education. And as teachers, we deserve to learn from each other and to share with each other. And if something is working really great with somebody else, then we should try that. And so I have really enjoyed working on this project and growing my PLN, and look forward to continuing doing it in the future. So don't forget who I am. You can find me over at 5th grade Georgia Peach. I'll see you on the web.